What's good, y'all? It's about that time. Ohio State, Notre Dame in the shoot tomorrow evening. Y'all know what it is. We've been waiting all off season, been talking back and forth, memes, jokes, trash talk, stats, X's and O's, whatever. Like it's time. It's time. So I'm not going to be before you long. I'm going to hit some things pretty quickly and just give some thoughts about tomorrow. I will be on campus. I'll be at the game, and I'll be going live throughout the day, kicking it, clowning with fans and just chilling, man. And hopefully the rain. It's supposed to rain a little bit tomorrow, I think, early in the day, but hopefully that's quick and passes through or passes over, and we're gonna have some fun. So listen, out the gate. First thing I want to address about this matchup and about this season is Ryan Day, right? So, um, Ryan Day, I feel like there's some people kind of quietly giving him the side eye, kind of like, and some of them aren't so quiet. But I think, um, how can I put it? I think he knows what's at stake. I'll say that. And I'm not looking at Ryan Day with the side eye because I trust and believe that we will get it done this year. And I trust and believe that, whatever questions that people may have will most likely be answered this year. He's heard the talk. He's heard he remembers the born on third goofiness from Hairball. People saying, oh, well, he has a soft program now. And the only reason why he's been good is because of Urban Meyer's play. All that crap. He's heard all that. All right. So I don't know if you noticed, but even in the press conferences, he doesn't seem as he's very, very he seems very focused and a little shorter. You know what I mean? It's just like he knows what's up, man. This is it as far as how things could turn one direction or another. So I just want to say I'm very confident in Ryan Day and what he's going to do this season and how he's going to shut a lot of mouths who have been talking and basically saying he's not the one or he doesn't deserve it or we should have got somebody else and we're not ever going to have good defenses, stuff like that. So let me say this. I also want to dispel this notion about Ryan Day, wanting, to be pass happy and not wanting to run the ball. I think when Ryan Day doesn't run the ball as much, or like last year when he really kind of shied away from the run at times, is because we had issues running the ball, not because he wanted to not run the ball. I think if you really want to see true Ryan Day and what he wants to do offensively, go back to 2019 when we had a 2,000-yard rusher in J.K. Dobbins and we ran the ball. It was pretty balanced. And I think based off of Ryan Day's comments and him emphasizing running the ball and wanting to run the ball, and even trying to run the ball at times where it's like, man, we just can't do it, man. Spread them out. As frustrating as it was, he wants to run the ball, and I believe with the hire of the new O line coach Justin Fry out of UCLA, who's not just the O line coach, but he's a run game coordinator. He understands the game from that standpoint. He worked with him at Boston College years ago, and they made a good tandem. And so I think he even brought him in for analytical purposes to help figure out what is going on with, more specifically, the short yardage run game and why it hasn't been as efficient as it needs to be. Now, there's some X's and O guys out there that I follow and that I love. One of them is Ross Fulton. And Ross Fulton, in his breakdown and analysis, made a good point. He said with the run game, it wasn't, and I agree with this after going back and watching games like the Scum game last year, where that whole we were soft and got blown off the ball stuff was just way overblown. Point is, what Ross Fulton was saying is it wasn't about being soft or being out physical as much as it was being outnumbered in the box. Going back and looking at the different plays and why we got stuffed, we were outnumbered. Now, you can circle that back to many different things schematically, to kind of see where that's coming from and why that wasn't addressed or whatever. But with the analytics over the offseason, with bringing in Justin Fry, with self scouting, and also from a personnel standpoint, having true guards play guard, and then having guys like Paris Johnson, who's a natural left tackle, kicking out to his natural position at left tackle, and DeJuan Jones another year. He's very veteran now at right tackle. So now you got guys not just playing positions because they're supposedly the best five, but you got guys playing their true positions. So you got all those things working. And then, of course, you have an even more veteran quarterback who can check things at the line pre-snap and determine what makes the most sense to do based off what the defense is doing. So that should also help us run the ball more. So anyway, I don't want to get ahead of myself with that, but the point is that Ryan Day is not as pass happy as you think he is. He wants to run the ball. Now, the only thing that I'm slightly concerned with is that out of human nature, he doesn't try to prove that he can run the ball so much that he tries to shove that round peg through a square hole and tries to force things. Because even like referring back to Ross Fulton, what he was saying, you know how we always said, we want to be able to run the ball, in third and short or when the whole stadium knows it's coming. Well, Ross Fulton was like, if the whole stadium knows it's coming, then don't run the ball. Like, I get what he's saying. It's just like, let's not be so simple-minded, I guess, just to shout a mantra that we're not doing what makes the most sense. We have NFL wide receivers and an NFL quarterback. If the defense is cover zero on 31, then why not throw it over to your first round draft pick receiver for a guaranteed first down? So, but anyway, I'm saying all to say that Ryan Day, I believe he's focused. I believe he's locked in. I believe he's pissed off. And remember, the whole drop 100 on him, and Scum fans like to bring that up like, well, he certainly didn't drop 100. Well, first of all, when he was talking about the team that he was supposed to play in 2020, remember how Scum ducked us? Remember, Scum fans, how you ducked us? That team would have got 100 dropped on them, and that's the team he was referring to. So don't slip now. Like, you got to come to the shoe where you haven't won it over 20 years this year, and the last time you came to the shoe, it was a slaughter. So I think we're gonna have a very focused Ryan Day, fired up Ryan Day, angry Ryan Day, who's going to want to prove a point and shut a lot of mouths. And so I'm very excited about that. So the defense, and the question is, why do I believe the defense will be fixed? It's simple. And I've been beating this drum. I'm going to keep on beating this drum. The issues mainly last year, and even before that, but I'll just specify last year, was not personnel. Okay? Like, you can't tell me all the 4 and 5 star players that we recruited are just all garbage. They're not. It was mostly scheme issues. Go back and watch the games like I did. Go back and watch Oregon, and you'll see Oregon running simple Pop Warner plays over and over again that we couldn't defend. That when you go back and look at it, goes back to coaching. You see linebackers not filling gaps, linebackers not triggering. You see defensive ends not keeping contained. You see, safeties. Well, I'll say this, personnel-wise, Shaw, who now transferred to USC, he was thrust into service because we lost our All-American safety Proctor to injury. So, him coming in for the rest of the season, I mean, that was just unfortunate because he was very inexperienced and he just wasn't that good. No disrespect. But the point is, if you go back and watch the deficiencies, it was a lot of like, what are you doing? Like, do you even know your assignment? And then listening to some of the players this offseason, like Jack Sawyer, talk about how they were thinking too much on defense. And, it was frustrating because they couldn't really go out and just attack like they wanted to because they were too busy thinking. So, yeah, you can't tell me these 4 and 5 star players it was just garbage and, we're just bringing back the same garbage. Nah. Coaching matters. Scheme matters. And being able to make adjustments on the fly matters. and actually being competent and understanding what the offense is doing matters. And don't forget, a lot of the coaches around the country and in the Big Ten were anonymously asked about Ohio State's defense. Across the board, they were talking about lack of disguise. You know what they're doing pre-snap. It's basically very simple to attack what they're doing. So when you have that in play, that's very embarrassing. So you bring in Jim Knowles from Oklahoma State, who's been doing this for years, who's proven, that he knows what he's doing, can make adjustments out of the 4-2-5, and disguises very well. And that's all the offense has been talking about offseason is how tough it's been going up against the defense because they don't know what they're really like lining up against, because of how he disguises. So I believe the defense is going to be fixed quite simple because we have the talent, number one, and now we actually have competent coaching. It's that simple. Now, how improved will they be? Nobody knows. But the way they're gushing and talking about this defense, I wouldn't be surprised if it's top 20 out the gate and eventually top 10. But top 25, is the minimum that we need to be in a position we need to be in. So, moving on, where do I think Indy's game plan will be on offense? This is just my opinion, based off of what I've seen from Tyler Buchner and from their offense and what they got coming back, and the fact that they lack receivers outside of Styles. What I think they're going to do, and listen, this is a total guess. I'm just basing this off of personnel. What I think they're going to do, I think they're going to try to utilize their quarterback skill set, which is he can run. He's no Braxton Miller, but he can run. Like he can pick up 20 yards pretty quick. He's not slow. So I think what they're going to try to do is bring some elements of the zone read, and they're going to try to do some RPO stuff. I think they're going to utilize him in the run game, Q draws, some zone read, like I said, and some quick passes to Mayer, the tight end, basically trying to attack us that way and make our linebackers make decisions and see if they're improved in that area or not. So I believe Chambers and Eichenberg are going to be huge defending their offense if that's what they do. Because Buchner, seeing him throw the ball, he's cool. He's okay. He can hit a wide open man, but he's not about to go back there like C.J. Stroud and slice you up and all the other stuff. He's just not. So if I'm them, that's my game plan. So that's what I think they're going to do on offense. On defense, I know Marcus Freeman loves to run man defense, very aggressive man defense. I think he's going to try to do a lot of zone, mix in some zone, show man and drop into zone blitzing. They're going to try to show some different looks to try to get CJ to think back there and to give their all-world defensive end Foskey time to get to CJ Stroud. Or whatever linebacker they send on the blitz. They're going to try to pressure him. They're going to try to confuse him and just get him to think a second longer to get to him before he can get it to the receivers. I mean, I think that's what they're going to do. They're not going to play as straight up man the whole game. It's not going to happen. We're going to crossing route them to death. We're going to 9 route them to death and just eat that up. So that's what I think they're going to do. And obviously they want to stop the run. So, they're going to have a plan for that to make sure whatever scheme they're in, accounts for the box, to have the extra man in the box and still be able to defend the pass as well. So I got a few questions from the board, from a few followers who wanted me to address some things. If you could touch on ND playmakers, I know the tight end, DN, Tyree as well, but any sleepers you see in analysis. There's one kid I'm hearing about named Audric Estime. He's a running back. Notre Dame insider apparently said he's like a sleeker, faster Jerome Bettis. Sounds like a beast. So look out for him. I never heard of the kid, but sounds pretty deadly. We'll see though. All right, top 3 players, both sides of the ball for OSU against ND. All right, so you could pick a bunch of different players, obviously, but my top 3 on offense for OSU is Travion Henderson, CJ Stroud, and Stover. So CJ and Trevion, that's pretty much self-explanatory, right? But with Stover, I picked him and not anyone else because I feel like with him being a captain, him being um, such a physical presence and the leader that he is, and critical in regards to running the ball, setting that edge, in the run game and sealing off those guys and to help out that O line to spring Trey Henderson and these backs, I think is going to be huge. That's a huge part of our run game is the tight end, obviously. And Stover, with him being such a man child out there, I think that he can be really the key to get this run game going on Saturday night and throughout the season. Defensively, Ronnie Hickman, Jack Sawyer, Chambers, or Eichenberg. I already mentioned the linebackers and how important they're going to be defending against whatever Notre Dame does. Hickman, safety-driven defense. I can pick other safeties, but Hickman is a leader, and he's going to be out there, flying around and making plays like he did last year. I believe he led the team in tackles. I'm pretty sure he did. Now, I picked Sawyer because the rumor is all indications and hints have been that he's playing that jack role. If you haven't heard of the role, it's a specialty role that's sort of like a stand-up hybrid defensive end linebacker. He can do different things. He kind of reads what the offense is doing and decides what he's going to do. And the defense also watches what he does, and then they fill whatever gap or fill whatever role they need to based off his decision. So he gets moved around. He also gets to be that kind of Swiss Army knife. Is going to be Jack Sawyer. So that's going to be a huge role for him. He's big, physical, and has good speed. And so I'm looking forward to see him in that role for sure. All right. So who will score first on offense? I think it's going to be Mayan Williams. And the reason why is I think we're going to get down to the red zone and we're going to pound Mayan Williams by the goal line. And he'll be the first one to score. That's just a guess. It could be a long bomb to Marvin Harrison Jr. I take either one. But I think it's going to be Mayan. That's my hunch, my gut feeling. Score prediction. I got Ohio State 48, Notre Dame 23. I think this team is angry. I think this team is fired up. I think this team is focused. And this team is mostly talented. These guys were young last year, man. We were the fourth youngest team in the college football last year, y'all. You know what I mean? Like people just kind of skate over there. Like, oh, no, nah. Like we had a young team. And so you're bringing these guys back a year stronger, a year more experienced. They tasted defeat, last year and been talked about all off season, how soft they are and how they're not, all that crap, man. These boys is ready to go. It's at the shoe at night, big time matchup. Man, I think they're going to come out and put on a show. So I think Notre Dame, they do have a good defense. I think they have a solid defense, but I just don't think they're going to be able to slow us down. I think once the ball gets rolling, it's going to be a wrap. And furthermore, with Notre Dame, I think they're limited with their quarterback. Whatever game plan they choose to do, they do the game plan that I think they're going to do. It's just limited. Like I don't buy that their quarterback is ready to come in here and just be all world. And I think with our improved defense, especially in the secondary, we'll be able to stuff them and stop their attack. When your best playmaker is your tight end, I'm sorry, unless you're Gronkowski, it just doesn't scare me that much. And Mayer's really good. I'm not saying he's not good, but I just don't see enough weapons to be able to make us pay. So 48-23 is the score I'm going to go with. And I can't wait to throw these ND fans after the game for all the trash talk. Let me tell you what's going to happen, though, real quick, after we win this game. Scum fans are going to say, oh, ND was overrated, so who cares? They're going to play it down. And then Notre Dame fans who've been on my page trolling are going to disappear, and they're going to be nowhere to be found. So it is what it is. But anyway, listen, y'all be hearing from me tomorrow. Like I said, I'll be going live, from the shoe and just kicking it, man, getting ready for this game tomorrow. So appreciate y'all. Make sure you like, share, do all that good stuff. And I'll holler at y'all soon. Peace.